October 13th, 2016. A nation dressed in black. Millions weeping in the streets. Not for a king, but for a father. If you ask a Thai person what love for a king feels like, they might tell you this. It's the sound of a royal anthem echoing through candlelight. It's the sight of a yellow shirt worn with pride every December 5th. It's the memory of a man, camera in one hand, map in the other, walking through muddy fields to meet his people. This is the story of King Bhumibol Adulyadej, the ninth king of Thailand's Chakri dynasty, a man of quiet strength, endless curiosity, and an unshakable heart. Part 1. The Early Years. King Bhumibol was born on December 5, 1927, in Cambridge, Massachusetts, USA, far from the tropical warmth of his future kingdom. His father, Prince Mahidol, studied medicine at Harvard. His mother, Princess Srinagarindra, would later be lovingly known as Samdech Ya, the Princess Mother, remembered for her grace, kindness, and strength. The young prince was the youngest of three siblings: Princess Kalyani Vadana, his caring older sister, King Ananda Mahidol, his gentle older brother, and then little Bhumibol, the curious one, often found with books, gadgets, or a musical instrument nearby. When he was just 2 years old, his father passed away. The family returned to Thailand and later settled in Switzerland for education. It was there that Bhumibol's love for art, science, and music began to shine. He played the clarinet, saxophone, and piano, favoring jazz. He loved photography, often capturing natural light and real emotion, and he had a deep curiosity about how things worked, from engines to rivers to human hearts. Part 2. When Destiny Called. But destiny changed everything in June 1946. His brother, King Ananda Mahidol, passed away suddenly at the age of 20, a tragedy that shocked the nation and remains one of Thailand's most painful moments. And in that quiet, sorrowful moment, Prince Bhumibol, only 18, was named the next king. Imagine being a teenager, still studying abroad, suddenly bearing the weight of an entire nation's grief and hope. He once said, "I had to learn to be king. It was not a position I expected." He returned to Switzerland to complete his education, balancing his royal duties with study. During that time, another event left a mark. In a car accident in Geneva, he suffered a serious injury that caused him to lose sight in his right eye. From then on, he wore glasses not just as a necessity, but as part of his image. Calm, thoughtful, observant. But this setback didn't slow him down. If anything, it sharpened his vision for what his country needed. Part 3. From Switzerland to the Throne. In 1950, the young king married Queen Sirikit Kitiakara, who would become his lifelong partner in both duty and devotion. Together, they returned to Thailand, a country still finding its way after war and change. And from that moment on, King Bhumibol began his life's mission: to serve, to listen, and to bring progress to every corner of his land. He didn't lead from a throne. He led from rice fields, hill villages, and dusty roads. He traveled to the most remote areas, sometimes by jeep, sometimes by boat, sometimes walking for hours through mud, carrying his map, notebook, and camera. Villagers in Nan Province still tell the story of the day the king arrived unannounced, sat on the ground with farmers, and sketched irrigation plans in the dirt with a stick. No ceremony, no speeches, just a man trying to solve a problem. Villagers still remember the way he listened. He asked questions. He took notes. He offered ideas, not orders. He believed that true leadership began with understanding. This approach gave birth to more than 4,000 royal projects touching every part of Thai life. Water management systems to fight drought, soil research and irrigation to help farmers, reforestation programs to protect the environment. The famous Royal Rainmaking Project, which used cloud seeding to bring rain to parched lands, a project he personally researched and patented. He was an engineer, scientist, and artist, all in one. And above all, he was a teacher. His philosophy of sufficiency economy became one of his most enduring legacies. It's a simple yet profound idea that happiness and stability come not from greed, but from moderation, wisdom, and self-reliance. He encouraged Thais to live within their means, stay grounded in values, and strengthen their communities. He once said, "A country's strength lies not in its wealth, but in the happiness of its people." And people felt that deeply. In every province, he left a footprint. Royal projects improved lives, from mountain villages in Chiang Mai to coastal fisheries in the south. He helped develop the Chitterlada project, where research on agriculture and sustainable living took place right inside the palace grounds. He turned theory into action and compassion into policy. Part 4. The People's King. Yet what made King Bhumibol truly beloved wasn't just his achievements, it was his heart. He was humble. He often wore simple shirts, carried his own camera, and knelt down to speak with villagers eye to eye. He smiled easily, joked gently, and treated everyone, from ministers to farmers, with warmth. His interests reflected that same depth. He composed more than 40 songs, including Candlelight Blues and Falling Rain. He painted, sailed, and tinkered with mechanical tools. Even in moments of rest, his mind sought ways to create and connect. And the people loved him for it, not out of obligation, but out of genuine affection. They called him For Luang, meaning the royal father. Every December 5th, the nation turns golden. Yellow, the color of Monday, his birthday, fills the streets. Candles are lit, hymns sung, and hearts united. After his passing in 2016, tears flowed across the nation, yet his spirit remained. Today, December 5th, is both King Bhumibol's birthday and Father's Day, a celebration of fatherhood, love, and guidance. People remember him not just as a king, but as a symbol of what leadership truly means: patience, compassion, and relentless dedication. In his later years, when asked about how he wished to be remembered, King Bhumibol once said, "I do not want to be loved, I only want to be understood." But in truth, he was both, understood for his wisdom, and loved deeply for his heart. Across Thailand, his legacy still breathes in every project that feeds, heals, and inspires. His songs are still played, his photographs still displayed, and his smile still remembered. Part 5. The Diamond Jubilee, 60 years on the throne. In 2006, a full decade before his passing, Thailand celebrated a once-in-a-lifetime moment, the 60th anniversary of King Bhumibol's reign, also known as the Diamond Jubilee. It was a scene the world will never forget. Royalty from around the globe, 25 kings, queens, and princes, including Queen Elizabeth II, the King of Spain, the Emperor of Japan, and monarchs from every corner of the world, came to Bangkok to honor him. It was one of the largest gatherings of royalty in modern history. The golden palaces shimmered in sunlight, the Chao Phraya River filled with decorated barges, and millions of people dressed in yellow, waving flags and portraits of their beloved king. For Thailand, it wasn't just a royal celebration, it was a celebration of love, loyalty, and unity. The world saw not just a monarch, but a man deeply loved by his people and deeply respected by his peers. Part 6. The legacy lives on. King Bhumibol reigned for 7 decades through wars, political crises, and enormous social change. But what never changed was his presence, calm, patient, and devoted. Even in his later years, when his health declined, people stood outside hospitals for hours just to catch a glimpse or whisper a prayer. When he passed away on October 13, 2016, Thailand fell silent. Streets were covered in black and white ribbons, and people wept openly, not just for a king, but for a father figure who had guided them all their lives. Today, his philosophy of sufficiency, his compassion, and his music still echo across the nation. Schools teach his ideas, temples hold prayers for his soul, and the melodies of his jazz compositions still play on the radio. His reign wasn't defined by power, but by purpose, not by wealth, but by wisdom, and not by fear, but by love. So when you visit Thailand and see the yellow flags or the portraits of the smiling king in every home and shop, remember this: you're not just seeing a symbol of royalty, you're seeing the heart of a nation that learned to dream, to endure, and to care because of one extraordinary man. King Bhumibol Adulyadej, Rama IX, the man who proved that the greatest throne a king can sit upon is in the hearts of his people.